This might be my favorite question. Are birds real? The answer is no, they're not. Birds basically are a government deep state conspiracy to. Welcome back, boys and girls, to the Uncommon Professor podcast. Yeah, I'm still around. I'm still going to get up to 30 podcasts. Thank you for everybody that's subscribed. If you're not, I'd appreciate if you do. So let me get right to it. A whole bunch of students asked me a whole bunch of questions. Some are personal, some are not personal, and I said I would answer them as honestly as I could. And I got some really interesting questions. And let me start here. Let's do this. Look, I figured out how to do a new thing. Why do you wear yellow glasses? I'd be happy to tell you because I know they look kind of they look kind of douchey. I get that, but the reason is I had LASIK surgery a long time ago. As a matter of fact, I had one of the m- earliest ones that there was. Funny story. I got LASIK for free, sort of. I traded a website for LASIK, and it was awesome. And I'm very, very lucky it's lasted this long. However, one of the things that I've noticed because I play golf and just generally in life is I'm losing my visual acuity. I don't see as clearly as I could, but I'm still very grateful that I don't need to have correction. But these help me very, very much, just in visual acuity, and especially in class, in close backgrounds. Here, I'll show you something. Anytime I see a pair of yellow glasses, I have tons and tons and tons of them. So that's why I do it. I'm old enough not to be embarrassed anymore. So that's fine. All right. Next question. And once again, these are student questions. What do I think of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion? Students want to know these kind of things. They're more locked in than people give them credit for. And I've said this on past podcasts. There's questions that I have. It seems to me that DEI seems like it's against the law. So, for instance, it flies straight in the face of Title VI and Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. So, as I've said before on this incredibly small podcast, I would like to have any DEI officer explain to me DEI and how it is legal based on those things. So that's what I typically tell students about DEI. Is it divisive? It seems like the media has made it divisive. Has it affected me much? No. But let me tell you something that's going on right now. The Goldwater Institute is backing another professor at my university who's suing the school for DEI training. And I think he's got a point. I think he's got a really good point. He lays it out very, very carefully and says, look, I've been asked to participate in what I consider racist activity. So let's see what happens there. I'm kind of I'm curious for sure. Oh, this is easily my favorite question, and this should tell you how locked in students are. They're paying attention. They're paying attention to things. Are birds real? No, they're not. Birds are not real. About 50 years ago, birds were wiped out, and then all birds that you see now are government drones. And those government drones basically are part of the deep state, and they're watching us. So let me tell you where this comes from. And this is why students are locked in. This is why they're really locked in. A university kid saw a protest years ago, and he just decided to go out and have an absurd sign: "Are birds real?" And then turns out that kind of went viral. Turns out what happened is he started getting interviews, like by radios. And these radio guys are like, really? Tell me more. Yeah, doves, doves have the high res stuff, and these kind of birds have this. And it went on and on and on, and it grew a movement. Now, do I think birds are real? Yeah, I do. I like birds. But that's not what's going on here. When people say, are birds real? It's an exercise in how absurd the media can be when they pick stuff up like this and how divisive it can be. Basically, it was young people laughing at old people. Like, and and the joke is on us. Can you believe how idiotic these kids are? Now there's this thing where they don't think birds are real. They think birds are real. They did this as an exercise to do. They could have picked anything. Are birds real? Is the sky falling? Chicken Little. They could have done that. So that's a really good thing to look up to show you how smart young people really are by coming up with something, having it go viral, and then having the media spread it around like morons. Can you believe what they're saying right now? Okay, you might not get this one right here. Is Mr. Robot accurate? I don't know if you've ever watched. You know who Remy Malik is? He was the guy in Queen that played Freddie Mercury. He was awesome. But before he did that, he was in a show called Mr. Robot, basically about a very depressed computer guy. That's how I'm going to put it. A genius computer guy. And it goes through what I call a DDoS attack. I was talking about that in my class the other day. That's a denial of service, which I claim is the most brutal virus that you can get. And I said, if you ever want to see what a DDoS attack really looks like in real life, Mr. Robot was a series, and you can go watch it. Now, I'm going to tell you this. It's R-rated and maybe a little past R-rated, but the accuracy of at least the DDoS attack is very, very accurate. It was really, really well done. Someone did a lot of homework to do that. As far as the rest of the show, not so sure how accurate that really is. Should I change my major? I say this a lot. The first thing I say is, I want you to talk to your mom and dad about that. This is a big decision for you. It's a big moment. However, there are lots of resources. This is the one of the things where I sit there and I'll tell a student, look, I'm not very good at mechanics. And they're like, what do you mean mechanics? And my answer is, I'm not very good at major maps. I don't know what they entail. I know a little bit about my majors, computer information systems or business data analytics, soon to be AI, which is super cool. But I want you to see a really, really good advisor. Great advisors are the ones that work for a specific department. Like we have rock star advisors, so they can sit you down and go, okay, what's your major now? Let me make a major map of what counts. So what classes that you've already taken that count, and let me show you what that looks like in real life, in real time. This is what's going to happen. So that's what I typically say to any student. But I also add this: do you like your major? Do you see yourself doing that? And so I guess I'm giving advice, but I'm kind of not. But always go to a department. I guess I'll call it a departmental advisor. That's my advice. Should you change majors? This was a super interesting one. I just got on a piece of paper the other day. I'll show it to you. These are the questions I get in class. They're on just pieces of paper. Uh, I'm going to read this one. I put it down in front of me. Should I join the military if wars are fought with drones? The way it's really written, it's by a student named Rocco F. He's 18 years old. Is it worth it to enlist, or are drones the future of warfare? And I think what he kind of explained it to me when he handed it to me. And I said, I don't know if drones are the future of warfare. I know they are in warfare. And I think what he was suggesting is, why would I just go in the military if I'm just going to be dead meat? Why would I do that? Now, having been related to many, many people in the military, my answer is this. what do you hope to achieve? What do you want out of the military? You're going to serve your country first and foremost. But this is what I would tell you. Once again, I would talk to your parents about that or talk to your mentor about that and see what they think about that. But for me, when I look at the military, especially in relation to college, I always think of massive amounts of benefits. Think about coming out of a college. Think about coming out of college with a job already there. Think about being surrounded by people like you and not like you and having a great career. It's one of the biggest regrets of my life. It's what I should have done right out of high school. I should not have gone to college. I haven't made this a secret. Golly, uh, if I can go back, which you can't, and do it all over again, I'd have joined the Coast Guard, and hopefully I would have gotten to be on a boat outside of the Oregon coast and helping fishermen. I think that would have been really cool. But another thing about, and this is a podcast that I have coming up, I want to get an expert, or I want to at least research so I don't misspeak. But one of the coolest things about the military is the GI Bill. The GI Bill is one of the most amazing things. It seems like one of the biggest secrets that's out there. Uh, they will pay for your college. And I mean, not just your tuition, I mean, all of it. I sat down with a TA I had about 15 years ago. I don't even remember hiring this kid, but he was like 28 years old. He was really adept. He was kind of rough. He cursed more than I did, which was cool. And I said, "What are you doing here?" "Oh, I'm in the Navy." "Really? You're in the at one of our local lakes?" I was giving him shit, and he goes, "No, no, idiot." And that's how he talked to me, which was awesome. He said, I'm in the Navy Reserves. I went for 4 years full time, 4 years. Now I'm in the Navy Reserves, and they're paying for my college. I sat him down. Tell me all about that. So, should you join the military? If wars are fought by drones, I think you need to understand what's the possibility of you go fighting for your country, and that is a very real possibility. But that is something I can't tell you whether I do arrive at this advice all the time. I can't tell you whether to do that or not. I can tell you the good parts of it. Um, I can't I can't tell you the bad parts. You're going to have to figure that out for yourself. Oh, sweet mother of God. This is another one of my favorite questions. Is college worth it? Do you notice that people that say college are worth it are typically wildly rich? You hear the Ben Shapiro say that. Oh, okay, Ben. You went to Harvard and you went to UCLA. Okay, are your girls not going to go to college? Is that what you're telling me? I've heard Tucker Carlson say that too. College is a waste of time. You went to college? Seems like it kind of worked out for you. Your girls are in college now. It seems like a bit of irony that you're telling people that. I want to know why you're saying that. And specifically, if you're going to say something like that, at least tell me what part of college is not worth it. I was in business for a long time, and college was very worth it for me. There were so many jobs that I didn't get because I did not have a college degree. Is college worth it? Yeah, it is. It's very, very worth it. However, do I have some criticisms of college? Yeah, I do. I really do. I think college is worth it. I think college is worth it, especially if you are treating it as a preparatory time to get to a goal. So, for instance, if you're a computer information systems major, supply chain major, finance major, engineering major, math major, and you're saying, I need to have this so I can be educated enough and I can do that for a living. I like that stuff. So is it worth it? Yeah, I think it's worth it. I it makes me cringe when I hear, oh, college isn't worth it. Really? Great. When's the last time you hired a high? I shouldn't even say that, but I'm not going to. I'll edit this shit out. What's my next step to be successful? I got that one too. Here, let me show it to you. Here it is. It was a long note, and I talked to this student, and he really wanted to know. He really, really did want to know, and I guess he's asking me advice. I think there's a lot of advice that is outside my purview, outside my business. So, for instance, I see other professors on social platforms like this one giving advice about relationships. I think that's completely a wrong thing. What if she rejects me? That's none of my business. That is absolutely none of my business. But a question like this, what's my next step in becoming successful? So my answer is, first of all, you have to define what is success to you. What is it? Is it making a lot of money? Is it having a big house? Is it having a picket fence? You need to define what successful is. The next thing I would say to become successful is, this is a weird one. This was an impactful couple of impactful books I'll tell you about. One is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And that book is impactful because it basically says, look, when you're getting older and older and older, you're going to give less of a fuck about things. You're going to get less embarrassed about things. And that's going to be very, very freeing on your road to success. You don't have to worry about these goofy things. What does she think about me? What do people think about me? The less and less you have that, the better. The other book, and this actually was given to me by a student, I want to say right as we came back from the pandemic. It was called, I think it's called Atomic Habits. And I knew what the book was about, but when I read it, it was interesting, and it was talking about making goals, but it was also really more, well, atomic. It was saying, look, I don't want you to reach some big goal and then sit on your ass and say, I've made it. No, this was talking about a step-by-step way to do that, the atomic habits that make you successful. So, for instance, the things that you're lazy about, the things that I'm lazy about, those are the atomic habits. And then it would talk about, almost like, don't make goals, just keep moving, just keep moving. So that's my answer. Those are my answers for the day. I kind of like doing this, I guess. So if you have questions, put them in my comments. I'd be happy to answer them as best that I know. However, last thing before I go, and any student that's taken my classes over the past 21 years, all 80,000 of them live, face to face, will tell you on the first day, what I say to them is, learn to say, I don't know. I was terrible at that. I always wanted to be a part of a conversation when I was younger, so I'd make some shit up. Today, I say, I don't know. Also, learn to say this. I changed my mind. I don't think that way anymore. I've looked into it, and I think differently. All right, well, thanks for coming back. That's what I got today. And I'm going to keep posting until I get to 30. I think this is 11. Other than that, go have a great day. Peace.